with red letters. He weighs in at 115 1/2 pounds from San Antonio, Texas. A round of applause, please, for John Michael Johnson.
Mandatory 8 count is in effect. Okay, if you get knocked down 3 times in 1 round, the fight's over. Okay, the belt cannot save you. Let's shake hands. Come on, fighting gang.
And we're looking at 22-year-old Johnny Tapia out of Albuquerque, 11-0 with 7 KOs, probably the better puncher of the two. Opposite him, John Michael Johnson, 21 years old, out of San Antonio with a record of 7 wins and 3 losses. Your bantamweight. Tapia indicated to us prior to tonight's fight that he would like to get inside. He likes to get inside and bang, and he's already doing it. Particularly effective left hook to the body in that exchange.
Both had good amateur careers, though Tapia probably a little bit better. Had a 101 and 21 record, 2 national Golden Glove titles, and that's how he did it. And boy, he is already wailing away on the inside against Johnson.
Left hooks to the body and using his right hand to try to take him out.
Well, the thinking going in was that this might be the wildest fight of the night, and it's shaping up that way.
Tapia again trying to work that combination jab to the right hand.
That's it, that's it.
Johnson trying to box, but this ring, which is pretty small, hindering him in his process.
Don't wait, don't wait.
.122 remaining in the first round, a bantamweight bout between Johnny Tapia on the attack in the baby blue trunks against John Michael Johnson of San Antonio in the gold trunks.
Tapia is so aggressive here in this first round, landing good hooks to the body and the head and keeping Johnson against the ropes for most of this first round.
But it is Johnson scoring here as we close. His best exchange of the night. Early. He's taking a lot of Tapia left hooks to the midsection.
Tapia is a very good body puncher and has shown us that here in the first round. We're scheduled for 8 and Stab may pull a roll if these guys keep banging away at this rate.
2 more healthy hooks to the body. Tapia with 7 KOs in his 11 victories. He is unbeaten. Both young fighters, Tapia 22, Johnson 21. 115 pounds each. Big right hand at the 10-second mark by Tapia. I don't know what that move was. That was a fake left go right, and he paid for it. Tapia. And Tapia takes one on the chin at the bell. Referee Roger Yanez separates the two. Pretty good first round.
Excellent first round. This is a fight crowd in search of a good fight, and they found one, Pete. Over 13,000 that all came in from the State Fair. You bought a ticket to the fair, you could come to the fights, and so they filled this place up.
What we gotta do?
We've got a vocal crowd, and wait till Michael Carbajal gets here.
Oh yeah, you'll hear some cheering.
The Phoenix product
Don't be waiting for him.
is a big favorite here. All right. Our top-ranked viewer poll asked the question again this week. Who do you think will win the WBA light heavyweight title fight next week in Bismarck, North Dakota? Virgil Hill, the champion, or James the Heat Tension, 66 to 34% right now. And there's the number to call. Also, the WBC light heavyweight title will be contested in Australia. Jeff Harding, Tom Collins. So far, you're liking Harding. So far, we've got a pretty good bantamweight fight here.
We do indeed. No change in that voting. It's kind of like you held a congressional or presidential race 2 weeks later. Would it change? Well, apparently in this case it doesn't.
Not a bit.
I mentioned the amateur record of Tapia, and he was excellent. Over 100 wins as an amateur, 2 national Golden Gloves titles. And you know what else he did as an amateur? He beat Michael Carbajal.
That's right.
Which is no easy trick. He also beat Hector Lopez, who's a very fine professional now. Tapia says, it's my turn now. I'm going to be a pro and be a good one, and so far he's been that, undefeated. I want to mention while we have a moment that Ray Mercer will next be in action on November 14th in Orange, New Jersey. And you'll see Charles May and also Alfred Cole on that card right here in ESPN.
Johnson beginning to counter Tapia a little better here in round 2.
Johnson, in the first round, of course, was trying to box a little bit against Tapia. And that wasn't as effective as he would like then, but he's done it better in this round. However, here's Tapia on the attack again, pushing Johnson against the ropes. And, of course, that is where Johnson doesn't want to be.
Both at 115, but it is Tapia who appears to be the stronger fighter.
And one indication of that would be that right hand that Johnson landed right at the end of the first round, Pete. That's probably as good a right hand as he can land. Hit Tapia right on the jaw and didn't move it.
Again, Tapia trying to use the left hook, followed by the right cross. Didn't work that well effectively.
Hitting the back of the head. Tapia trying to go downstairs again, where he's met with some success.
Met with more success of that in the very early stages. All right, we're going to break away here at the end of this round and go to Bob Lee in San Francisco with the commissioner, Fay Vincent. Round 3 here in Phoenix. Johnny Tapia in blue. John Michael Johnson in the gold. Pretty good action at this point. Johnson. And there are your punch profile numbers through 2 rounds. A good exchange, toe-to-toe here, mid-ring. Brown loves it.
And they're showing you why those numbers are the way they are. Both men throwing, both men landing. This crowd loving every minute of it. Well, we got a star-studded group here. Not only 13,000 people, but we've got Kennedy McKinney. You see him in the background, the Olympic gold medalist who has had his problems, but will be back in the ring in October. The moguls from the Mirage Hotel, Steve Wynn, who of course owns that hotel as well as the Gold Nugget, and Bob Halloran is the head of sports. They're the people that will be putting on the Roberto Duran Sugar Ray Leonard bout. They're in attendance here. Taking a look at Ray Mercer and Tommy Morrison. Might have something to do with them later on.
I know I could count on you to take care of the social notes.
Yes, that's what I'm here for, Pete.
Let's check your scoring, first of all.
Occasionally, I even take care of this.
Yeah,
And, I have a 28-18 for Johnny Tapia. I gave him both of the first 2 rounds. And in this one, though, Johnson has landed his share of shots.
Come on, you got respect. Come on, Johnson, push it now.
Tapia again trying to put together that combination. Not as effective with it as early. And he takes the right hand that time by Johnson. Johnson says, come on, I'll take you.
Now, strategically, I think that Johnny Tapia does better when he's on the inside. In other words, when he can get past the jab of Johnson and not be at long range where he can hit with those right hands, he's better when he's throwing to the body. And Johnson's doing a good job in this round of keeping Tapia at bay.
I think Johnson, Al, is responding like a guy who feels he's taken Tapia's best shot.
Well, there may be some truth in that, and Johnson felt he was in very good shape for this bout, fighting at a weight he likes. Fought as high as 118 to 119 when he lost to Junior Jones his last outing. He said he was weighed about 4 pounds more than he's got now, likes this weight better, so trying to show that in this round.
Well, normally he is described as a slow starter. His people promised tonight that it wouldn't happen. Well, it did. There he took a good right hand like Tapia. We've seen some interesting and unorthodox moves in this bout. Good fight through 3 rounds. Bantamweights.
Take a deep breath.
John Michael Johnson.
He caught you with a good shot.
And Johnny
another round,
Tapia.
he didn't do nothing. Hey, you're backing the kid up. Every time he's moving, boom, boom, boom. Let's start banging on him, baby. Bang on him. Good. Okay, don't let yourself go. Coming up.
Watch this move by Johnny Tapia. Gives him a head fake. Boom, a right hand right up the gut. Now, you know who used to do that? Lonnie Smith, the former junior welterweight champion, would turn away and then throw that right hand.
Yeah. Everything in combination, Bob. Everything in
How did I do?
combination.
What am I doing wrong?
You're doing
A little
fine.
busier, that's all.
Little busier, though. And when
He's trying to close. He's trying to close, don't let him. When he's closing,
don't stay in front of him. Don't stay in front of him.
And we're back live. Awaiting round 4 here. Good bantamweight bout between Johnny Tapia here, he with a tattoo in his chest, against John Michael Johnson, who has appeared to gain a little in confidence in the last 2 rounds.
Excellent 3rd round, especially for John Michael Johnson, with landing some good right hands of his own. Boxing well now.
Rich Lander, who works out of John Michael Johnson's corner, told us that he thought, and having worked in another fight that Tapia had, he worked across the ring from him for another fighter, and they observed during that fight what they thought they could do is get him with uppercuts, get him with a left hook. So that's something to keep an eye on here for Gonzalez as we look at the punch profile. Excuse me, Johnson.
And Johnson, ironically, there's the
left hook by Johnson.
Ironically, it's really been the right hands by Johnson so far. So the hooks and the uppercuts may still come, but they didn't earlier. But now John Michael Johnson is getting the hook in. Very prophetic. They heard you talking about it, Pete. Rich Lander, if that name sounds familiar, he's the man who works with Alfred Rangel, who will be seeing against Dave Gomez, I believe, on October 31st up in Las Vegas. And Alfred, the one who suffered that very disappointing loss to Louis Espinosa, and about that I and about 100 people that wrote me letters thought he won, but the judges didn't see it that way. More letters sent to me probably on that match, being upset about that decision than any other single fight in the 9.5 years.
I was going to say that's a mouthful because you've been here for a while.
And we've had some letters.
I think Tapia has backed off offensively here, too, since that exchange and where he took those two left hooks. Finally, he shows some offense here. But he took about a 40-second break.
Again in this round, John Michael Johnson being quicker than Tapia, getting off quicker. This is a fight with two youngsters, 21-year-old Johnson, 22-year-old Tapia, meeting at a time in their career where it's a tough fight for them.
Again, though, Johnson showing in his response to punches that he has taken the best and he is not backing up. And that has made it a much better fight.
Tapia's still going downstairs, but he's not as effective as he was earlier.
Good one, and we'll be back to it shortly.
They said they could hit Tapia with that punch, and they did there. Well, they didn't. John Michael Johnson did.
That's for sure. Round 5. It is scheduled for 8. The total punches in the last round.
And again, showing a trend of Johnson really taking a little bit of control. I had him winning that round also, and I have him winning the last 2. So John Michael Johnson is really starting to establish himself in this bout.
These two fighters, Al, with Tapia only 11 fights and Johnson only 10 professional, very, very polished. I guess that bespeaks their extensive amateur records.
Yeah, both were very good amateur boxers, and you can see that. Now, I'll tell you what, though. For Johnny Tapia, he is making a strategic error, in my opinion. He is stronger, I think, on the inside than John Michael Johnson. If he could get in there like he was in the first round and whack with that left hook to the body and the head and push him around a little bit, he'd do much better. On the outside, Johnson is a very good boxer.
And Al scoring through 4 rounds, dead even.
First 2 rounds to Tapia, the last 2 to Johnson. This one very close.
Good left hook by Tapia that time. Doesn't seem to faze Johnson, though.
And Tapia didn't step in with that. He should be doubling with that left hook to the body and the head. Now, John Michael Johnson has found a home for that right hand here. That's Tapia's right.
Tapia didn't have a whole lot of leverage behind that right.
Better round for Johnny Tapia, though.
Another right.
No, though. I think they want Tapia boxing. These Johnson people do. Although Tapia's boxing pretty well in this round. They want Johnson to push him backwards. He's doing that, but he's not landing effectively.
I tell you, Al, that move by Tapia may work well in the NFL on some defensive back, but I don't know if I'd want to move my head left and going right, or vice versa.
It's an unorthodox move in boxing, to be sure. You're right. For a wide receiver, it's fine.
Coming to a close here at the end of round 5. Continues fast pace. Back in Phoenix in a moment.
In a round in which Johnny Tapia otherwise did fairly well, look at the combination by John Michael Johnson.
And Tapia came out firing a blistering combination to start this round.
Very interesting matchup of a couple of good young boxers, both with good amateur credentials, both with good pro records. Even a 7-2 record by Johnson, a little deceiving. 2 split decision losses among those 3 decision losses. Of course, Tapia undefeated.
Tapia has gone 8 rounds 3 times. Johnson never has, but I don't think fatigue is going to be a factor just looking at them here.
Started out with Johnson, the mover and the boxer, and Tapia the aggressor. Now it is completely turned around.
Right, it has.
Now it's Tapia boxing and trying to move, and Johnson going after him, which Johnson's corner has urged him to do.
Johnson appearing much more like he wants to decide it with one punch.
Left hook to the body from Johnny Tapia that has been so dormant and absent in the last several rounds.
Very effective in the first round with that. It kind of went away.
John Michael Johnson is fighting in his first, but I'll tell you, if I was in his corner, I would be really urging him to be a little bit more aggressive, and they have urged him to do that.
Yeah, he's not near as busy as he was, and it's come on suddenly. Still, he doesn't look tired.
He's not landing as effectively as throwing as many punches. Good right by Tapia. Good combination by Tapia. This fight has so many ebbs and flows.
It has. And now it is flowing in the direction of Tapia. Half a minute to go. Again, that time it worked. Fake left, go right. I don't know what that accomplishes, Al, because you're really never looking at the guy's head as a defensive fighter.
Well, something you can be, though, and it could throw you off.
We've got 2 to go here in Phoenix. Right back.
Well, it worked once, it will work again. Looks to the right, throws back. Johnny Tapia with that unorthodox move. I mentioned earlier it was used a lot by Lonnie Smith, the former junior welterweight champion, and Lonnie kind of popularized that.
Well, if you just joined us, I believe that's a slip. No knockdown. Both Tommy Morrison and Ray Mercer scoring first-round knockouts. Here we have the punch profile through 6 rounds.
Johnny Tapia throwing a lot more and landing some more. I have Tapia ahead in his bout, so I would agree with that viewpoint of our punch profile.
Tapia with a good right hand there.
He's starting to get that right-handed, and you mentioned that Johnson has never gone 8 rounds in his life in 6-1, so he may be feeling the heat. Good work downstairs.
I'll tell you, he's feeling those downstairs. Ooh. Digging to the body is Tapia.
Tapia better look out when he comes in, though. He's leaving himself wide open.
Johnson fighting back here, but he just hasn't been as busy in the last 2 rounds, and that is hurting him.
This is as long as Johnson has ever been. In fact, he's never been this before, obviously. So it's a place where he's trying to figure out if he can go.
And Al, I just saw him briefly drop his arms and shake his arms. I'm talking about Johnson as if to indicate that his arms are a little tired, and he was trying to get a little freshness to them. And he doesn't have the snap that he once did.
Tapia has been much busier in the last couple of rounds.
Tapia has retained his hand speed throughout the fight, where Johnson has not. He's got 1 round to go. What has been a good fight.
Very interesting matchup of 2 evenly matched fighters. Very important round coming up for John Michael Johnson. He could be facing his 4th loss as a pro, and doesn't want that.
We're down to 1. Be back.
Johnny Tapia has been landing this right for the last 3 rounds. A tired John Michael Johnson keeps his hands down and gets nailed.
The crowd showing their appreciation at the start of this 8th and final round. Big hand from a big crowd. We mentioned 13,000 here at the State Fair in Phoenix, Arizona. Look at the punch profile in the last round. Tapia again landing more.
Widening that margin of total punches landed, and in my opinion, widening the margin of rounds that he has won also. Speaking of my scoring, as we were, there it is. I have Tapia had 68-65. Now that might be a little wider margin than some of the judges have. It could be much closer than that. My scoring is quite unofficial, as fans have come to know in recent months.
John Michael Johnson had just sort of stalled out here. He didn't come to an abrupt halt with respect to his offense, but he has just stalled out in the last 3 rounds.
And the Tapia right hand has become such a huge weapon. Now, I don't think Johnny gets as much leverage with that punch as he would like, or it would be doing even more damage. Hitting on the break. Johnny Tapia, none too pleased with what Johnson is doing. Goes after him a little bit. I think Tapia's mad because Johnson's using his head a little bit on the inside. And I don't mean thinking.
Again, Tapia, much the busier fighter here in this final round, and you would think Johnson trying to press and cut him off, but still not throwing much. Left the body and a good right hand. Got a lot of leverage on that one, did Tapia.
And now it's Johnson pursuing, but Tapia doing such a good job of counter-punching.
One thing to pursue as a target, another thing to pursue and throw, but they had a pretty good left hook, Johnson.
Well, they wanted Johnson to land left hooks and uppercuts. He hasn't done that as much in this bout as they would have liked him to. There were moments for that left hook from Johnson. There's the right. That's really been his best weapon.
That was a good right hand by Johnson.
Very good matchup. This really has been interesting. 2 young boxers who both have skill.
Tapia wanting the crowd to get into this.
Pay attention to Johnson.
Tapia boxing Johnson with one hand and trying to get the crowd into it with the other. Still doing it. Still asking for the crowd. And the crowd responds in kind. Pretty good action. How about this? On their feet here at Veterans Memorial Coliseum.
The total punches, as you take a look at him, Tapia pulling away a bit, and you can see how many more he threw. Much more active, and his accuracy level about the same as Johnson, but because he threw so many more, chances are, according to our punch profile and according to my scores, Johnny Tapia is the winner, but you know who counts? Only the judges.
And we'll find out from the judges as we go to Michael Buffer.
Ladies and gentlemen, before I give the official scoring, let's have a round of applause one more time for Johnny Tapia and John Michael Johnson. Here's the official scoring. Greg Hughes scores the bout 78-74. Aaron Kaiser has it 78-75.